It's our request that you may kindly occupy the seats inside the OAT.
Affiliated to Calicut University. When I returned, it became of course NIT, deemed university.
What is required in this challenging world is not ordinary pass or any degree, but what we want is excellence. Whatever be the branch of engineering, there are hundreds and thousands of people who aspire for engineering but cannot get it and all that. So that way you look at, you are happy and you are lucky and all that. So always look down and find how lucky you are. So do justice to your present situation. Do your best and try to get the best out of you.
At that time it was affiliated to Calicut University. When I retired, it became, of course, NIT, deemed university.
ഞാൻ ഗോൾഡൻ ജൂബിലിക്ക് വന്നിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ കുറച്ച് ആൾക്കാരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ തന്നെ നല്ല ഡെവലപ്മെൻറ്റ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പിന്നെ ഒരു കോൺവോക്കേഷൻ്റെ ഒരു വീഡിയോ കണ്ടു.
Main thing is changing is lot of buildings have come, departments, number of departments.
There are only 3 conventional branches left, civil, mechanical and electrical. And the total strength of the college was 120 to begin with. And I think now it is more than 10 times. And so many new branches have come up. All this, there is a matter of great joy for me.
One word, leaps and bounds. There is no explanation for me. It is mind-boggling and it is simply tremendous. And I am really thrilled for being a student, and that too in the first batch of this great alma mater.
വളരെ വ്യത്യാസമാണ്. ഇപ്പം നമുക്ക് തന്നെ മനസ്സിലാവില്ല. മാറി ആദ്യം ഹോസ്റ്റലാണ് ആദ്യം ഉണ്ടാക്കിയത്. PG വരെയൊക്കെ ഇല്ലേ.
What is required in this challenging world is not ordinary.
Building change.
Main thing is changing is a lot of buildings have come, departments and other things. Number of departments.
There are only 3 conventional branches there, civil, mechanical and electrical. And the total strength of the college was 120 to begin with. And I think now it is more than 10 times. And so many new branches have come up. All this, there is a matter of great joy for me.
One word, leaps and bounds. There is no explanation for me. It is mind-boggling, and it is simply tremendous. And I am really thrilled for being a student, and that too in the first batch of this great alma mater.
വളരെ വ്യത്യാസമാണ്. ഇപ്പം നമുക്ക് തന്നെ മനസ്സിലാവില്ല. മാറി ആദ്യം ഹോസ്റ്റലാണ് ആദ്യം ഉണ്ടാക്കിയത്. PG വരെയൊക്കെ ഇല്ലേ?
What is required in this challenging world is not ordinary pass or any degree, but what we want is excellence. Whatever be the branch of engineering, there are hundreds and thousands of people who aspire for engineering but cannot get it and all that. So that way you look at, you are happy and you are lucky and all that. So always look down and find how lucky you are. So do justice to your present situation. Do your best and try to get the best out of it.
It was affiliated to Calicut University. When I retired, it became, of course, NIT, deemed university.
All of them are there. So I would sit with the students. I know who they are now, and I also do the white volunteers. It's okay, I sit with them. I'll be there.
It was anyway such a nice thing that I came here. ഞങ്ങൾ ഗോൾഡൻ ജൂബിലിക്ക് വന്നിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ കുറച്ച് ആൾക്കാരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ തന്നെ നല്ല ഡെവലപ്മെൻറ്റ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പിന്നെ ഒരു കോൺവൊക്കേഷൻ്റെ ഒരു വീഡിയോ കണ്ടു. I saw that building change.
Main thing is changing is a lot of buildings have come, departments.
We will start the function immediately.
Number of departments.
Just waiting for our chief guest and other dignitaries to arrive. We will start the function immediately in 2-3 minutes itself.
RAC, at that time it was affiliated to Calicut University. So when I retirement, it became, of course, NIT, deemed university.
It was anyway such a nice thing that I came here. ഞങ്ങൾ ഗോൾഡൻ ജൂബിലിക്ക് വന്നിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ കുറച്ച് ആൾക്കാരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ തന്നെ നല്ല ഡെവലപ്മെൻറ്റ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പിന്നെ ഒരു കോൺവൊക്കേഷൻ്റെ ഒരു വീഡിയോ കണ്ടു. I saw that building change.
The main thing is changing is lot of buildings have come, departments and other things. Number of departments.
There are only 3 conventional branches there, civil, mechanical and electrical. And the total strength of the college was 120 to begin with. And I think now it is more than 10 times. And so many new branches have come up. You know, all this, that is a matter of great joy for me.
Onward, leaps and bounds. There is no explanation for me. It is mind-boggling, and it is simply tremendous. And I am really thrilled for being a student, and that too in the first batch of this great alma mater.
വളരെ വ്യത്യാസമാണ്. ഇപ്പം നമുക്ക് തന്നെ മനസ്സിലാവില്ല. മാറി ആദ്യം ഹോസ്റ്റലാണ് ആദ്യം ഉണ്ടാക്കിയത്. PG വരെയൊക്കെ ഇല്ലേ.
What is required in this challenging world is not ordinary pass or any degree, but what we want is excellence. Whatever be the branch of engineering, there are hundreds and thousands of people who aspire for engineering but cannot get it and all that. So that way you look at, you are happy and you are lucky and all that. So always look down and find how lucky you are. So do justice to your present situation. Do your best and try to get the best out of it.
RSC. At that time, it was affiliated to Calicut University. When I retirement, it became, of course, NIT, deemed university.
It was anyway such a nice thing that I came here. ഞങ്ങൾ ഗോൾഡൻ ജൂബിലിക്ക് വന്നിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ കുറച്ച് ആൾക്കാരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ തന്നെ നല്ല ഡെവലപ്മെൻറ്റ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പിന്നെ ഒരു കോൺവോക്കേഷൻ്റെ ഒരു വീഡിയോ കണ്ടു. I saw that everything changed.
The main thing is changing is lot of buildings have come, departments and other things. Number of departments.
There are only 3 conventional branches there, civil, mechanical and electrical. And the total strength of the college was 120 to begin with. And I think now it is more than 10 times. And so many new branches have come up. All this, there is a matter of great joy for me.
Onward, leaps and bounds. There is no explanation for me. It is mind-boggling, and it is simply tremendous. And I am really thrilled for being a student, and that too in the first batch of this great alma mater.
വളരെ വ്യത്യാസമാണ്. ഇപ്പം നമുക്ക് തന്നെ മനസ്സിലാവില്ല. മാറി ആദ്യം ഹോസ്റ്റലാണ് ആദ്യം ഉണ്ടാക്കിയത്. PG വരെയൊക്കെ ഇല്ല.
What is required in this challenging world is not ordinary pass or any degree, but what we want is excellence. Whatever be the branch of engineering, there are hundreds and thousands of people who aspire for engineering but cannot get it and all that. So that way you look at, you are happy and you are lucky and all that. So always look down and find how lucky you are. So do justice to your present situation. Do your best and try to get the best out of you.
At that time, it was affiliated to Calicut University. When I retirement, it became, of course, NIT, deemed university.
It was anyway such a nice thing that I came here. ഞങ്ങൾ ഗോൾഡൻ ജൂബിലിക്ക് വന്നിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ കുറച്ച് ആൾക്കാരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ തന്നെ നല്ല ഡെവലപ്മെൻറ്റ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പിന്നെ ഒരു കോൺവോക്കേഷൻ്റെ ഒരു വീഡിയോ കണ്ടു. I saw that everything changed.
The main thing is changing is...
Good morning. The event will start in a few minutes. The alumni members are requested to occupy the seats in the front rows. Thank you.
There are only 3 conventional branches there, civil, mechanical and electrical. And the total strength of the college was 120 to begin with. And I think now it is more than 10 times. And so many new branches have come up. all this, that is a matter of great joy for me.
One word, leaps and bounds. There is no explanation for me. It is mind-boggling and it is simply tremendous. And I am really thrilled for being a student, and that too in the first batch of this great alma mater.
വളരെ വ്യത്യാസമാണ്. ഇപ്പം നമുക്ക് തന്നെ മനസ്സിലാവില്ല. മാറി. ആദ്യം എ ഹോസ്റ്റലാണ് ആദ്യം ഉണ്ടാക്കിയത്. PG വരെയൊക്കെ ഇല്ലേ?
What is required in this challenging world is not ordinary path or
Warm good morning to all of you. We are starting the function in our campus for the second day of WNM 2022. We have all our dignitaries here. All the dignitaries may kindly occupy the seats on the dais. We are starting the function. We request all the dignitaries to occupy the seats on the dais. Thank you all.
With great respect and profound regards, respected dignitaries, alumni, their families, faculties and students, we wholeheartedly welcome you all for the Day 2 of the WNM 2022. We are J. Shiv Shankar
and Gauri B. Kumar from CSE department. We are going to be your host for this session. We all know that we start every event and occasion with prayers. Prayer means the purification of one's soul. It takes away negative thoughts from our minds and helps us achieve our goals and dreams. Ms. Devika and team, I request you to come forward and start this auspicious day with prayer.
The dignitaries and the audience may kindly rise up for the prayer.
लोकैकनाथा मनोमोहनाकार कारुण्यशीला जगनिवासा लोकैकनाथा मनोमोहनाकार कारुण्यशीला जगनिवासा ആത്മന്മാരാകിലും ഈ ലോകത്തന്നിൽ നിൻ കാരുണ്യമെന്നും പതിച്ചിടണേ ലോകൈകനാഥ മനോമോഹനാകാര.
Let me invite Dr. Raju George Matthew, Assistant Professor at the School of Management Studies, NIT Calicut, for the welcome address.
Reminiscence of the past is best when it gives us pleasure and happiness. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Raju George Matthew. The duty bestowed upon me is to welcome the dignitaries of the day and all who have gathered here for the second day of WNM and the culmination of the Golden Jubilee celebrations of NIT Calicut. We have with us, as the president of the event, Mr. Gajala Yoganand, who is the chairman of the Board of Governors of NIT Calicut from 2020. He is also the chairman and managing director of the Manjeera Group, Hyderabad. He is a first-generation technopreneur with more than 3 decades experience in the real estate sector. We are really privileged to have you here today. I welcome you to this event on behalf of NIT Calicut and NIT Alumni Association. Next, we have with us Professor Dr. Prasad Krishna, the director of NIT Calicut from September 2021. He also holds the additional charge as director of NIT Karnataka Surathkal, where he is Professor HAG in the Department of Mechanical Engineering from 2009. Previously, he was professor in NIT Calicut from 2002 to 2008. He is a member of various professional organizations and accreditation bodies, both nationally and internationally. And he has also served as a board member in NIT Kurukshetra, NIT Jalandhar, SPNIT Surat, and SPA New Delhi. Dear sir, I welcome you to this event on behalf of NIT Calicut and NITC Alumni Association. We have as a chief guest of the event, Dr. Subbarao Pavluri, who is the chairman and CMD at Anand Technologies Limited that contributes immensely to the Indian space program. Dr. Rao is a technologist and an entrepreneur with over 40 years of experience with ISRO. Dear sir, we welcome you to this event on behalf of NIT Calicut and NITC Alumni Association. We have with us Professor Dr. P.S. Sadidevi, who is currently the Deputy Director of NIT Calicut. She is a 1985 batch alumnus of REC and is also Professor HAG in ECED department in NIT Calicut. Ma'am contributes immensely to both student and faculty activities on campus. Dear ma'am, we are very happy to have you here. We welcome you to this event on behalf of NIT Calicut and NITC Alumni Association. We also have with us Mr. K.S. Sudhakaran, President of NITC Alumni Association. He belongs to the 1971 to 1975 mechanical batch in REC. He is an entrepreneur with international experience and is also the founder president of Kerala Entrepreneurs and Experts Network. He is an active alumnus from 1995. Dear sir, we welcome you to this event on behalf of NIT Calicut and NITC Alumni Association. We have with us Mr. Joseph Philip, Secretary of NITCA. He is from the 1975 mechanical batch. He is an entrepreneur and has also served as president for the Cochin chapter of NITC Alumni Association. Dear sir, we welcome you to this event on behalf of NIT Calicut and NITC Alumni Association. We have Professor Dr. P.P. Anil Kumar, who is the Dean, Alumni and Corporate Relations of NIT Calicut. He is also an alumnus of this institute. He is the backbone of this event and all the ongoing projects and interactions involving NITC Alumni Association and NIT Calicut. Dear sir, we welcome you to this event on behalf of NIT Calicut and NITC Alumni Association. Now I would like to welcome all the members of the NITC Alumni Association who have gathered here along with their family members. I welcome all of you to this event on behalf of NIT Calicut and NITC Alumni Association. I would also like to welcome the registrar, associate deans, faculty members and students of this institute to this event. And I wish all of you a fruitful day with wonderful experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Raju, for the sublime welcome speech. Professor Sati Devi PS is the Deputy Director of our institution and is a familiar face for the alumni, being an alumnus of our institute. She is from the 1985 batch and is befitting to invite Madam for her introductory speech on the Diamond Jubilee theme. Madam, please.
Honorable Chief Guest and our own alumnus, Dr. Subbarao Pavluri, Chairman and CMD Anand Technologies, Honorable Chairperson, Board of Governors of NIT Calicut, Sri Gajala Yoganand, Honorable Director of NIT Calicut, Professor Prasad Krishna, our beloved President of NITCA, Mr. Sudhakaran, NITCA Secretary, Joseph Phillips, and our Dean Alumni Affairs and Corporate Relations, Dr. Anil Kumar, my beloved alumni friends and their family, faculty colleagues, staff, and students. A warm good morning to you all. It is indeed a proud privilege for me to present the details of Diamond Jubilee celebrations of NIT Calicut of my alma mater, the commencement of which I was blessed to initiate during my tenure as Director in Charge in 2021. As we all know, the CREC had an auspicious start as the 9th REC in our country and was inaugurated on September 1st, 1961 by the then Chief Minister of Kerala, late Sri Pattam Thanupillai. The institute had a humble beginning with 125 students in the temporary campus of Government Polytechnic West Hill, Calicut, under the able leadership of its first principal, Professor M.V. Keshav Rao. From a humble origin in 1961, the institute has grown spectacularly to a total strength of 6,800 plus students in a sprawling green campus of around 310 acres. Today, the institute offers 11 undergraduate programs, 30 postgraduate programs, and doctoral programs in various streams of engineering, management, and science. In order to celebrate the completion of momentous 60 years of its existence, our institute embarked on a series of programs since 2021, the culmination of which is being organized now. A committee under the chairmanship of Dr. Ashok S., professor from Department of Electrical Engineering, was given the mandate to take the lead role to plan and organize the various programs. A special logo commemorating the Diamond Jubilee of the institute to position its sojourn from 1961 to 2021 was designed by our graphic artist, Mr. Chandramohan, which has found its place in all communications from the institute. Around 40 faculty development programs in the latest technologies were organized, in addition to a good number of workshops, international and national conferences as part of the Diamond Jubilee celebrations during the past 1 year. As a major boost to the infrastructure facilities in the campus, 500-seated Mega Hostel 2 was inaugurated and dedicated as part of the Diamond Jubilee celebrations by the Honorable Minister of State for Education. In a recognition of the contribution of the institute to the society, the Department of Post, Government of India, released a special postal cover on December 13, 2021. At the initiative of our Honorable Director, a reunion of the first batch of CREC with their faculty and their staff was organized on December 31, 2021 and January 1, 2022. It was attended by 25 alumni and their family. It was indeed a joyous occasion for our distinguished alumni to rekindle their memories and about the golden bygone days and share experiences with our current students. It goes to the credit of our student community that Tattva, the annual Techno-Management Festival of the Institute, was successfully organized during February 18 to 20, 2022, thereby keeping alive the tradition of never say die in spite of the unexpected conditions due to the pandemic. For the first time in the history of NITC, a virtual reality campus was introduced during this Diamond Jubilee Tattva. As the pandemic continues to rage on, the fun and energy of Tattva will not dwindle. For the first time since the past 2 years, Ragam 2022, wherein art is used to change perspectives, was held on 30th April to 1st May 2022. The spark of passion, pride, and persistence were rekindled once again with the reviving of Ragam in the Diamond Jubilee year. The Diamond Jubilee celebrations also witnessed the establishment of 11 multidisciplinary centers of excellence in the Institute, in consonance with the spirit of National Education Policy 2020. These centers are the brainchild of our beloved director, Professor Prasad Krishna. The centers of excellence are Center for Quality Assurance and Enhancement, Center for Sustainable Technologies, Center for Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Incubation, Center for Indian Knowledge Systems, Center for Yoga and Holistic Wellness, Center for Information Technology, Research and Automation, Center for Industry Institutional Relations, Center for International Relations and Foreign Languages, Center for Cultural and Art Relations, Center for Public Relations, Information and Media Exchange. It is also heartening to note that some of these centers are offering elective courses to our students as part of their academic curriculum. It is indeed heartening to acknowledge the magnanimous contributions by my alumni friends who are also joining hands with the Institute to celebrate its 60 years by dedicating special prestigious projects as a mark of their love and affection to our alma mater. NITCA, under the strong leadership of Sudhakaran sir, coordinated with the 1997 ECE batch and other batches of alumni for providing 350 laptops for facilitating the students of NITC to attend online classes. 1985 batch has set up an IoT lab in the institute with the main objective of providing opportunities for our students to do real-life projects by connecting with the industries. And this lab will be inaugurated soon, today itself. The batch of Actually, I would like to mention that I belong to 1985 batch also. Thank you. The batch of 1993 and NITCA jointly has designed and constructed the amphitheater inside the main campus, so whose inauguration will be also witnessed today. The batches of 1994, 95 and 96 have pooled their collective energies to sponsor the Institute Management System, which is a state-of-the-art ERP for automating all academic, research and administrative workflows of our alma mater. This project will be also inaugurated during this function. This project is being implemented under the leadership of Dr. Vinod Patari, Associate Professor in Computer Science Department from the NITC side, and Vijay Raj sir from NITCA side. So to quote Obama, although we may come from vastly different stories and very different walks of life, we are one people who possess common values and common ideals, who celebrate individual excellence, but also share a recognition that together we can accomplish great and wonderful things we can't accomplish alone. It is the deals and values of NITC that has brought all of us here today. Though not with us physically, the hearts and minds of the multitudes of CRECians and NITCians are bound with the spirit of togetherness. Let us all pledge to do our best to take our alma mater, NIT Calicut, to greater heights of glory and fame. So thank you all.
Thank you, Madam, for your eloquent introduction to the Diamond Jubilee theme. Dr. P.P. Anil Kumar is a professor of architecture and is an alumnus of the 1989 batch of architectural engineering, then RAC Calicut. He recently assumed the Dean Alumni and Corporate Relations position. Now I would like to invite Sir for his address.
Sri Gajala Yoganand, Honorable Chairman, Board of Governors, NIT Calicut. Professor Prasad Krishna, Director, NIT Calicut. Mr. K.S. Sudhakaran, President, NITCA, Chief Guest of the function. Dr. Subbarao Pavluri, Chairman and CMD, Anand Technologies. Dr. Sati Devi, PS, Deputy Director, NIT Calicut. Mr. Joseph Philip, relinquishing Secretary of NITCA. Other dignitaries on the dais, NITCA members, my dear faculty members, and students. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and warm greetings of the day. I believe I am clearly audible because we have a bit of echo here. Open air theaters are generally an acoustic disaster. We say this in architecture. But I believe on the audience side, things can be heard. I consider it a privilege and great honor that we are able to host our alumni, esteemed alumni and family members who are here for WNM 22 to this Diamond Jubilee culmination function, alumni-student interaction, and the lunch thereafter. Alumni are the solemn and silent ambassadors of the name and repute of any institution. The alumni of NITC have made us truly proud across the globe, and like never before, we realize the great value you add to the institution's name and brand, and let me humbly place it on record here. In the emerging context of an extremely dynamic education scenario, with a new education policy slowly kicking off, and cross-disciplinary learning the catchphrase, we understand the unprecedented role that alumni can play in adding to our efficacy in teaching learning process and in institution building. Can you imagine the vibrance, variety, and richness of an event where all our alumni are present? Imagine these are around 400 people. Imagine 35,000 of our alumni who are present in every nook and corner of the world coming together. Though it is an impossible task to achieve, White House, I would say, probably the most difficult part of the world to connect to. That's the power of alumni that we enjoy. From our end, we aim the relationship of alumni and the institute to be a win-win one for both the entities. When completing 60 years of our illuminating existence in the arena of engineering education in India, while wondering at the distance we traveled and the name that we earned, I treat it also an occasion for us to rededicate ourselves to forge ahead with a renewed sense of direction and to set higher goals of performance and thereby to scale further heights in offering world-class education. This point was highlighted in an institute meeting by the Honorable Chairman of our Board of Governors. In the process, having meaningful interaction with the alumni is a critical step, and it's time that we structure this process to be in better order. Alumni can provide us invaluable insights on a row of things. Getting your guidance in the conduct of academic programs, bridging the gap between academy and practice, bringing in interdisciplinary inputs, earning exposure to cutting-edge technology, to be aware of emerging opportunities and getting support in institution building are a few to mention. It's a long list. On each head I have mentioned, we can deliberate and come out with a plethora of actionable points. That's what we need to do. Let's do it slow, but for sure. As an institution, we are fortunate to have unprecedented alumni interaction and support, especially in the past few years, especially at the most critical time like during the COVID times. And we thank the NITCA leadership for responding to all our calls on time with vigor and enthusiasm in helping us at crucial junctures. Our Deputy Director can cite any number of such instances where she wanted immediate action, they had immediately responded. As I get close, it's amazing to see the passion of NITCA members towards their alma mater and the excellent organization system in place that make things happen steady and systematically. We have seen this in yesterday's event as well. Kudos to the team. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank NITCA for all the major infrastructure projects it had taken up in the campus. If I name the major ones, the establishment of a creative zone, the laptop project where 350 laptops were provided by the 1997 batch and NITCA, the development and establishment of the IMS, Institute Management System, software by the 94, 95 and 96 batches, the establishment of an Internet of Things lab named Lab 8085 by the 8085 batch, the establishment of a green amphitheater by the 8993 batch, Mr. Suresh Chand Jain of 1973 batch and NITCA. A few of these projects will be inaugurated here during this event in the next few minutes. And let's cheer the alumni for the good deeds done by them. They deserve a big round of applause. This year we have formed a student chapter of alumni in the institute where every program, branch and year are represented. All those representatives are here. This body will try to connect with you after due consultation with us on a variety of issues like career guidance, internship, managing your visits to the campus alone or with family, learning on cutting edge topics from you, and also to take some of the research outputs to the world out there to put to good use and sometimes to monetize also. There are a lot of things which are being incubated here. We want your help in taking it across to the world at large. We are in the process of building this framework and will seek your guidance in perfecting the same. Even the alumni and CR office would operate with more people and facilities as we move on. This file has already, it's about to be launched, given to our Honorable Director in some time. We are also instituting a set of awards to be given to the distinguished alumni under various heads, such as excellence in management, entrepreneurship, research and development, to the young alumni, and also for promoting excellence in alma mater advancement and institutional service. There will also be awards for civil and defense service performances. Many of you decorate higher positions in both in the civil service and in the defense services. We plan to make this announcement during the Pioneering Foundation Day celebration of the Institute slated for 1st September 2022, another 3 days to go. These awards will be instituted from the year 2023 based on a stipulated set of rules and a committee deciding on the awardees after carefully scrutinizing the entries submitted. There are a few areas where we want to improve our performance in fostering better alumni interaction. We find challenges there. We need to deliberate more on such topics for the ideation and outputs to deepen. They are, we still don't have a proper repository of all of you. We don't have all your details. You are 35,000 plus, still growing, but our database is very, very minimalistic. Probably around 4,000 to 5,000 people's complete details only we have. We are unable to connect to you. Lack of a proper platform is one responsible thing, but on the other side, as we ask you data items to be entered, you are also growing impatient. You also don't have time. But I would request from the bottom of my heart, next time when we seek or when we request you to register in our database, please do it diligently so that we get all your details out here. So in building a repository of alumni expertise in designated areas branch-wise using the alumni database is our goal. We want this to be truly comprehensive with all your details available to us. However, we find this to be a little formidable as everything from the platform to collecting data patiently, holding the rights to the data collected to timely updating a big challenge. We intend to conduct an annual alumni conclave through online to begin with, where institutes, deans, HODs, and faculties listen to selected alumni representatives' concerns, insights, vision on career, training, and curriculum for the emerging future. For the institution building with alumni support to be continuous and ongoing, let me take this opportunity to mention 2 new critical projects where we request alumni to help us in harnessing funding. Namely, for our Gymkhana complex for students and a premium guest house for the institute, one after the other. Both these will bear the name of alumni in their title. The Gymkhana complex that will accommodate some sports facilities, food courts, health club and shopping areas for students will earn us some revenue, and our prayer is to get 50% support from the alumni upfront. With the upfront support from alumni, the rest 50% we can raise as a loan that we are going to repay using the rental income earned from the building. There is also a context to this. Many batches in future will not require the scholarship support. You all know that batches contribute a decent sum to institute Silver Jubilee Endowment Awards scholarships to the students. They don't need it anymore. 30% of the students only pay the full fees here. Even Government of India is not really looking at that option. So in the light of dwindling grants to build infrastructure, not only here, amongst all NITs, even amongst IITs and IIMs, they are expecting you're paying back in due course of time. This will be one of the future directions for alumni fund flow. I firmly believe that NITCA will appropriately channelize its potential support in this direction in the immediate future. A few batches together can pool this amount. We have 3 Silver Jubilee reunions and 2 Golden Jubilee reunions slated for this year in the months of December and October respectively. We sincerely hope and pray that NITCA sets its eyes on this task. If they set their eyes on this task, they can achieve it. We are confident. For the welfare of the students on campus, chapters, batches, and high net worth individuals are requested to generously sponsor the amenities mentioned in part or full. Facility will bear your name in bold for sure. The premium guest house where alumni will get their assured accommodation at all times. And this project also can be supported on similar lines eventually. Though it is sad to note, these are facilities that the campus lack badly. You know that our guest house is not up to the mark. You know that students still lack spaces to, frequent. That's what the Gymkhana complex will do to them. Though it's sad to note, these are facilities that the campus lack badly, and harnessing government grants for such buildings in the change funding scenario has almost become impossible. That's why we look up to you. Details of the Gymkhana complex and the premium guest house are available for perusal now to the office bearers. Please have a look at them at your convenience. Hope our alumni understand the situation and give their best try in realizing these projects in sequence. To conclude, I am happy to welcome the 400 plus alumni and their families representing 18 chapters of NITCA to our scenic campus. Please go around the campus and feel the vibes. It's the innate ones as well as the one you created. Our student volunteers will help you to locate your favorite joints of be it a classroom or a hostel room. In the process, I wish you moments of joy, memories to cherish and cheer in reliving the good old times. And then relish the lunch at guest house. And I sincerely apologize for the inadvertent shortcomings, if any. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Anil Kumar, for your informative address. Now, it is my privilege to introduce two of the most distinguished guests of today, the NITCA President and NITCA Secretary. Shri K. Sudhakaran is an alumnus of the 1975 batch of Mechanical Engineering Department. He hails from Talasheri in Kerala. After graduation, he was employed with multinational companies based in Mumbai, Delhi, and Germany. During this time, Shri Sudhakaran decided to be an entrepreneur to serve Indian industries with energy-saving products. India was an energy-starving country in the 90s. Sandpar Industries Private Limited, established in 1994, dwelling in thermal energies, introduced refrigeration-based compressed air products for the first time in India, saving energy. Energy saved is energy gain is the motto of Sandpar. The company also supplies cooling systems to Indian Air Force fighter jets. Sri Sudhakaran and Sandpar operate from Bangalore. He is also the founder and president of KEEN, Kerala Entrepreneurs and Expert Network, with 29 entrepreneurs as members. He is also the shareholder of KEEN Technology Initiative Private Limited. Sri Sudhakaran is a Rotarian and has served Rotary Bangalore East as its president during 2011 and 2012. He has been an active alumnus since 1995, joining the Bangalore chapter of RICA, now NITCA Bangalore. He was the chairman of the organizing committee of WNM 2013 held in Bangalore. I extend my warm welcome to his distinguished Sri K. Sudhakaran, the president of NITCA.
Dr. Gajala Yoganand, Chairman, Board of Governors, Dr. Prasad Krishna, Director in ITC, Dr. Subba Rao, Chairman and Managing Director, Anand Technologies, Dr. Sadi Devi, Deputy Director, Dr. Anil, Dean, Alumni Affairs, my classmate and NITCA Secretary, Joseph Philip, my teachers, alumni friends, students, non-teaching staff, a very hearty good morning. I had to really pinch myself to see that it is a reality to be part of as an alumnus of this institute, except possibly for Dr. Sati Devi and Dr. Subba Rao, who are also alumnus and alumna of this institute. I consider this as the rarest of the rare opportunities to address such an august gathering sitting here. It's absolutely a privilege. Never in my wildest of my dreams did I ever think of or envisage that I would have such an opportunity to address you. And while I stand here with mixed emotions, I recall the day when I got the admission here. I had a tryst with destiny. From my pre-degree course, we were 11 friends of mine who had come and joined this institute. And all the other 10 guys, friends of mine, did get the admission card, but I didn't get it. In spite of the fact that I had a better marks than some of them anyways. And I was weeping, and I got an admission from College of Engineering, Palakkad, but REC was a brand then. At least for me, I was insistent that I should be enrolling myself at REC then, CREC then. So my mother advised me, go to REC instead of weeping here. Then I came along and I met the registrar, I don't remember his name, but I do remember Thamukutti. I'm sure we all know Thamukutti. Been a great friend of every single alumni out here. He's no more, may his soul rest in peace. And I was told that, admission card has already been dispatched, but my small village there, the postman goofed up, and then I got in here, got my admission. So that was my saga out here. I was a meritorious student out here, but then from a closed, strict family environment to a hostel life, you know what happens. And that happened to me as well. It is a full-blown freedom out of the care of your careful mother. I lost my father way back when I was only 10 years old. So she was my father and mother. And there started my failures as well. In addition to engineering, I was taught how to handle failure. I've heard about people saying that it's difficult to handle success, but here I am, I didn't know how to handle failure. I took some drastic steps, but then again I was a failure. And that's why I'm here today. Good sometimes, failures are good. So that was my tryst with destiny at my alma mater here. And I had a great journey after that. I was fortunate enough to become an ardent alumnus of my alma mater, thanks to my chapter in Bangalore, NITCA Bangalore. I was talking about the transformation from CREC to NIT yesterday. I don't want to repeat it again. I'm sure that most of the guests are common, except possibly some of the students here. So I had a great time here, and then I was an ardent alumni. I'm not too sure why I became one, but I don't regret that my passion and my gratitude for my alma mater. Whenever I walk into this Rajpath, we call it, is as good as entering into my house to meet my mother. And that's the gratitude which I have. I possibly believe no person can ever consider himself a human being if he can't take care of his parents and your institute as well as the teachers. Who we are today, at least for myself, I consider who I am today is thanks to my school, obviously, yes, and my parents, yes, and this institute. I have my greatest gratitude, and it is possibly because of that attitude of gratitude, possibly I'm standing here in front of all of you. When I was leading the NITCA, and you know what NITCA is, we have been celebrating yesterday, and later in the afternoon we'll be celebrating the part of the concluding session of the WNM 2022. We had created a tagline, NITCA, of the alumni, by the alumni, and for the alumni. We actually borrowed from Abraham Lincoln's statement on democracy. Abraham Lincoln forgot to add one more thing. Of the people, by the people, for the purpose of the country. And I would like to add here, I also missed it, I would also add here, of the alumni, by the alumni, for the purpose of our alma mater. As you all know, that any alumni association is all due to the alma mater. It's the bonding of the alumni association and the institute that matter. And I'm proud that we have done our every single bit to serve the purpose of that. Today, while we think about the alumni, right from Keshav Rao, who was the first principal, and to our latest director, Dr. Prasad Krishna, I look into the journey of that, and I look forward to other journey further. And like what our director has talked about, his vision of 2047, that's 100 years of our independence, what he possibly talked about. But I have, coming back to another 15 years, we have a platinum jubilee. So all NITCA has planned for that vision, 75 years of our NITC. What we basically want is, at least a dream of ours, we need to talk to the director as well, is that 3 themes. I mean, you have a long-term goal, but then I would like to have a short-term goal as well. And the short-term goal, I would say that let us have one industry institute connect. We have already started it, but we need to strengthen it. We need to strengthen it much more. We also want to create brand NITC. And along with that, we'll make brand NITCA as well. That's the second point. And the third point, as I want to have, is that I would like to take the lead of, or I would request the NITCA leadership to take the lead of NITCA Entrepreneur Club. Now, NITCA Entrepreneur Club is from my experience of developing KEEN, that is Kerala Entrepreneurs and Experts Network. We have 29 entrepreneurs in Kerala, in Bangalore. We have made an excellent association called KEEN. We have gone one further step up, that we have also created a call KEEN Initiatives, Technology Initiatives Private Limited, and I happen to be the shareholder. And one of the alumni, Sunil Kumar, is also the director of that particular company. And we'll be launching our commercial high-end ventilator possibly in October 2022. This is our dream. I hope we'll be able to match the dream. Now, both Dr. Sati Devi as well as Dr. Anil Kumar has talked about what NITCA has done. I don't have to repeat it again. We are proud that we were given an opportunity, but then I reaffirm these things, to say that NITCA will always support the requirements of NIT. Sir, you can give us any requirements. We would be there to take the risk, irrespective of the fact that how we generate the finances, that's our business. Your business is shoot out your requirements. Finally, I would like to say something in my mother tongue. As the son of the soil of Kerala and NIT being in Kerala, I want to say, Ende Vidyalame Bhavagangal. Nandi, Namaskaram. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. But we request a small help from you. We request you to declare the Green Amphitheatre inaugurated. Sudhakaran, sir, there is a small request to you to inaugurate the Green Amphitheatre, which is a remarkable contribution from the alumni side.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was excited. There was a request actually from Preeti that I should inaugurate the amphitheater. Amphitheater is a sprawling mission. You can see once possibly after the lunch, maybe you can see that. It's the greatest project. It's one of the greatest projects of NITCA, and it's my privilege and honor to declare this inaugurated. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now let's look at the video of the beautiful green amphitheater, which is a remarkable contribution from the alumni side.
Green amphitheater arose out of a need for a place to host pulse events like Ragam and a place for the simple everyday joys of campus life. Now the site that was chosen was the main building quadrangle, which has a very strong symmetry about it. With you have those two divergent paths leading out of the main building. You have two shirish trees that are framing this view from the main building. If I am drawing out the two pathways, first step was to define the stage, a circular stage with a ramp, and the stage itself will actually be complete when the trees grow up and create a canopy above the stage. And these steps are sort of cascading in the sense that, like this, you can climb up, this being the last step. You can also climb down like that. So these are literally the steps you can go up. They define a space that can be used as an everyday place for conversations. And when you look at the entire amphitheater, the design is simple enough and subtle enough for it to function as a place for everyday conversations, and it is robust enough to host a pulse event like Rag. So the objective is that it works in both the scales.
Thank you. The NIT community wholeheartedly plays our gratitude to the NITCA for this beautiful contribution to the alma mater. We have the secretary of NITCA also here with us on the dais. He's Mr. Joseph Philip. He's also an alumnus of 1975 batch of Mechanical Engineering Department. He did his MBA from Cochin University. On the professional front, Sri Philip has been Skyline Systems and Services founder and managing director since 1981. He is also the founder and managing partner of Cubol Software Technologies Private Limited. He was also the founder and managing partner of Skyline Builders. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us today. Thank you.
The director of NIT Calicut, Professor Prasad Krishna, is the recipient of the prestigious Kirloskar Gold Medal and Sir M. Vishweshwara Memorial Prize for the University of Mysore for securing first rank in the B.Tech program in the Mechanical Engineering from NIT Surathkal. He received his master's degree from IIT Madras, winning 2 silver medals, and Professor Sen Gupta Prize for the best academic performance in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Professor Prasad Krishna obtained his doctorate degree in manufacturing from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, USA, an internationally recognized center of excellence in manufacturing research. Professor Krishna has more than 37 years of professional experience in a variety of sectors and had served prestigious organizations like TVS Sundaram Clayton Private Limited, Hosur as a trainee engineer, Gas Turbine Research Establishment DRDO, Bangalore as a Scientist B, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center ISRO Trivandrum as Scientist SB, and so on. He had made several presentations about Indian technical education and accreditation related issues in collaboration with several national and international organizations and charitable societies like British Council, Canadian High Commission, Irish Embassy, and etc. He is also the recipient of several awards and honors of academic brilliance and has published many journal papers. Since 2009, he is working as a professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering in the National Institute of Technology, Surathkal. He had served as a board member in various national institutes. He served as the head of the Department of the Mechanical Engineering during 2013 to 2015. Professor Krishna is also a heartfulness meditation trainer for spiritual practice under the Sahaj Marg system of simplified Raj Yoga. I would like to invite our director, Dr. Prasad Krishna, for his address, which will be followed by the release of the coffee table book.
Respected chief guest of today's function, Dr. Pavluri Subbarao Garu, Honorable Chairman, Board of Governors, Sri Gajala Yoganand Garu, President of the NITCA Alumni Association, Sri Sudhakaranji, the Secretary, Sri Joseph Philip, our Deputy Director, Professor Sati Devi, the Dean Alumni Affairs and Corporate Relations, Professor P.P. Anil Kumar, the distinguished alums, their dear family members, other invited guests, members of the media, my faculty colleagues, research scholars, students, ladies and gentlemen, heartfelt pranams to all. This is indeed a great moment, very joyous occasion, and it is my privilege and honor that when the Institute is celebrating its Diamond Jubilee, when we have a vision, as Sudhakaranji already mentioned, we want how the Institute should look like 25 years from now. When the country is celebrating its centenary, India has a vision 2047. What we are supposed to do as an institute of national importance, this is a parliamentary body. This is a people's institute. And we have to meet the aspirations of the people of this country. Everyone has to be taken on board. And we can work together to realize this vision of this great nation only if all of us work together. And I'm really happy. These 40,000, 35,000 and more adding on, this abundant pool of talents, if we can work together, we can easily achieve this vision and participate in nation building. This is a time I want to express from my heart my gratitude to the entire fraternity of the alums of this erstwhile CREC and the current NIT Calicut. We have come a long way. We have met beyond the expectations of the RECs. I am proud to say that. We have served the nation in various capacities. We have excellent entrepreneurs, not only in India, but abroad. You have shown, we have shown the mettle, you have kept the flag of CREC, NIT, Calicut flying. And for that, we are extremely grateful. It is very certain that an institute is known not by the faculty, not by the infrastructure. None of us matters. What matters is the graduates who are serving the society. In that way, you are keeping the pride of this institute ever rising. And I want you, today the government is kind enough to engage. If you have the time, we can even have an online mentorship, advisory groups. I want you to participate in the departmental advisory group. You can participate as professor of practice or whatever level. You can spend a few days here. We would be happy to host you in the respective disciplines or in the multidisciplinary centers. Whether you can give a motivational talk, you can mentor our faculty and the students, that is always welcome. These doors are always open for you. Please don't hesitate. And I also want, today you can, even one module in the course, if you have much more wisdom, much more experience than we are teaching the equations and theoretical thing. I know, I am coming from industry. I know what is actually in the field. There are a lot of gaps. Still the gap is widening. Only you can fill those gaps. Every one of you are capable, and I want you to invite. This is an open invitation, and please join us as a professor of practice or whatever designation, and spend your quality time and engage meaningfully with our NITC community. And I also want to say, Sudhakaran mentioned that he feels the mother calling, that humble mother is waiting. I don't know, when I discussed with some of our alums yesterday, they were surprised that Government of India is not funding the infrastructure. It is the fact. Many of us are taken aback. When we were RECs, we had difficulty because of the state government's political interference. Lot of problems in funding. When it was made a deemed to be university in 2002, and when it became an institution of national importance in 2007 by an act of parliament, we were very happy. Lot of funding came from the central government. Today, we are one among the 32 NITs, 23 IITs, 16 IIMs, 20 triple ITs, and we are one among the 142 institutions of national importance. Ladies and gentlemen, Government of India cannot fund infrastructure. They are very clear. They will pay us the salary, scholarship, and pension. That's all. Enter infrastructure, the capital expenditure has to be met from us. And I want you to help me how to do that. The mother will never ask for money, you know. When the mother is in such a financial constraint, the mother, we have to understand what is in need. She has brought us up to this level. I am also an NIT alumni. We have to work together so that you have seen, if you go around the campus, more than 50 years old building, very shabby, dilapidated buildings, very poor toilets. If you look at the first years, some of your children are admitted here, you are feeling it a shame. One A block, which you all stayed, 4 students in one room in this same Indian toilets with shabby cupboards and very dilapidated. I am really feeling concerned. I'm afraid students may prefer VIT, SRM, Amrita, such private universities. Today, they are not bothered about the quality of teaching and learning. They feel they can anywhere, anytime. Abito, you know, the online resources are at our disposal. Why should they come to NIT Calicut? So that is where the challenge is, friends. How do you make a reasonably decent environment, proper facilities in the labs, in the academic, the classrooms, and in the halls of residence, so that we provide them not the luxury like the air-conditioned room the private universities provide, but we should provide a decent thing. And for that, we need a huge capital expenditure, which the ministry is not going to fund. We have to find. And I am telling you, there are possibilities to attract the CSR funding. And I am happy, many of my alumni sitting here, they are helping us in tapping the huge potential of the CSR funding from the companies which are Mahanavaratna or the corporate, even in the private sector. So they are waiting for, if there is a proper proposal, proper project from our NIT Calicut, I am sure our alumni will work together and we can harness the CSR funding from various industries private sector, India and abroad, and I'm sure the chapters would definitely, and we will work together with the individual chapter, and we have to be, as Anil told, we are not even connected. If you look at the number of people, out of 35,000 plus, how many are here? That is a mistake I will owe to myself, the entire institute administration. If my faculty, my students are not here, I am responsible. If my students and faculty don't want to come in this alumni get-together, I am responsible. Somewhere we have not done enough. Therefore, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come to take care of your mother. Therefore, we can do many things. Tan man dhan se hum kaam kar sakte hain, and we can definitely, and I am requesting more chapters. We will first have a database. Let us all be connect together, and then we can do wonders. So with that, I am extremely grateful for your gracious presence with family. You have come all over the world to be here, and I request you to, if you have time, please see the facilities, and the seeing is believing, and please participate in building this institute. It is the top 5 in the country, but we want to make it number 1 NIT definitely in the near future. And I mentioned yesterday, I want this to be the top 50 in QS ranking. That is, by the time we celebrate the centenary of the nation, this should be top 50 in the QS ranking. We should have very good. If the foreign students and faculty has to come, you need that kind of the halls of residence and infrastructure. Again, I am grateful to the NITCA, the entire, my own Office of the Dean Alumni Affairs, our Deputy Director, the entire faculty, staff, student volunteers are here who have made this function a grand success. And once again, my doors are open. Please feel writing to us or WhatsApp and contact the office where we are all connected and we take your guidance and help. Thank you once and all. Jai Bharat.
Thank you very much, sir, for your encouraging words and the milestone set by you. We will wholeheartedly try to achieve it. Now, we have the release of a coffee table book. I request our respected director, Professor Prasad Krishna, to unveil the coffee table book. This is actually giving the glimpses of NIT, REC or NIT Calicut over the past 60 years. This beautiful book picturizes NIT and REC all throughout its 60 years.
Yeah. This is a reminiscence. നമ്മുടെ മലയാളത്തിൽ പറയില്ലേ നമ്മുടെ ഓർമ്മക്കുറിപ്പ് നമ്മുടെ സ്മരണിക 61 മുതൽ and until now. As you flip the pages, this is a journey from 1961 until now. From a mere 150 to a number of students, 6,800. And I request every one of you, please grab the copy. And I'm sure Anil will tell. This is, and we thank all of you who have contributed for this coffee table book. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we have another interesting announcement.
Let me remind you that this coffee table book is completely funded and supported by NITCA again.
Thank you, sir. Now we have an interesting announcement. The 1988 batch pass out, Mr. Shankar Narayanan, has completed a marathon run from Westall Polytechnic, where the initial classes or the NIT, REC Calicut originated, to NIT this morning. So we would like to congratulate Mr. Shankar Narayanan. Sir, could you please come up to the stage? Sir, I request our director to congratulate him. Thank you, Mr. Shankaranarayanan. That's a great achievement. Congratulations to you.
Sri Gajala Yoganand has been the chairperson of the Board of Governors of NIT Calicut since September 2020. He is also the chairman and managing director of Manjeera Group, Hyderabad, and has served as the joint secretary of CREDAI since 2020. Sri Yoganand is a first-generational technopreneur with rich experience in real estate sector for more than 3 decades. He was also the advisor of the Infrastructure, Real Estate and Smart Cities Committee for the year 2020 and 2021. He was appointed by the central government as a member of the Board of Governors of the Indian Institute of Technology, Tirupati for 3 years from 2018. He was nominated as AICTE representative on the governing body for Infrastructure Equipment Skill Council, Bengaluru in September 2017. He was also a member of the All India Board of Undergraduate Studies in Engineering Technology for 3 years from 2016. Some of his other notable achievements include his contribution to the Bureau of Indian Standards in a panel for the preparation of Chapter 11 in the National Building Code on approach to sustainability. He is also involved in social service and is managing trustee of GY Foundation. I would like to invite the distinguished chairman, Board of Governors of NIT Calicut, Sri Gajala Yoganand, for his address, followed by the inauguration of the IMS.
Our dignitaries on the dais, Professor Prasad Krishna, Director NITC, our chief guest, Dr. Subbarao Pavluri, Chairman and Manager of Anand Technologies, Dr. Sati Devi, Deputy Director, NIT Calicut, Mr. K.S. Sudhakaran, President, NITCA, Dr. P.P. Anil Kumar, Dean, ACR, NITC, Mr. Jan Joseph, General Secretary, NITCA, distinguished members of NITCA and their family members, faculty, staff, and your students. My best wishes to you. I'm really glad and honorable to be here, honored to be here on this occasion of NITCA meet, WNM meet, which is also coinciding with our Diamond Jubilee celebrations. It's a wonderful opportunity for students, faculty, and also the alumni to have come together on this occasion. It's really a very good opportunity for the students also who are going to shortly interact with the alumni. Our previous speakers have given a lot of statistics about the institute. When it was started, that is the year 1961, with 3 departments and about 125 students, about 60 years back. Today, we have grown to have about 7,000 students on campus with about 11 departments offering undergraduate, postgraduate programs. And also I am told that 800 PhDs are on the campus now. People who are research scholars are on the campus. We have seen a lot of facilities on the campus, which is useful for the students and also the research scholars. We are also growing in terms of our ranking. I'm glad that architectural department is standing number second position at the national level, and also as an institute we are having very good ranking, and still there is a lot of scope to improve our ranking further. Various infrastructure facilities have been narrated, which are conducive for not only educating our students, and also for research facilities. There are a lot of centers, quite a good number of centers for students to excel their performance and also help them to become job providers rather than job seekers. Under the famous Make in India program or Atmanirbhar Bharat, Startup India, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has given a call for making India self-reliance nation. We have to move from shortages to surplus, from a net importer to net exporter. You know what this means? Every nation has to be stronger economically, financially, so that every citizen has a lot of opportunities to achieve his dreams, and to see that every citizen also enjoys the benefits of the development. We have seen a couple of years back, maybe about 5-6 years back or 8 years back, we are about 11th largest economy in the world. Today we have grown to be the 5th largest economy. What does it mean? It means plenty of opportunities for all of us, mostly for the students. You have seen the way national highways are being implemented, the faster pace at which they are being implemented. You have seen the number of airports that are being constructed under Udan scheme. And as Professor Krishna just mentioned, we have established larger number of institutions of excellence across the nation to tap the potential that is there among the youngsters, to provide the facilities they need instead of their going abroad in search of their pursuit for better careers. I have not seen probably the alumni who are sitting in front of the dais, and between you and us, we have not seen such an excellent opportunities prevailing in India today compared to our times. For example, when I started my career as an entrepreneur, if I had to get a telephone connection, those days, that is, I am talking about 40 years back, I had to pay 25,000 rupees to get a telephone connection, and you will be lucky if you get it in 1 month's time. You have to pay about 8,000 rupees under OYT scheme, Own Your Telephone scheme, those days, and you will get telephone connection in 1 year time. And if you go for a 1,000 rupee normal telephone connection, you will be lucky if you get in about 3-4 years time or 5 years time. From that day, now People are asking you to give you telephone connections. They are after you. Just see the difference. That is just an example of how we are moving towards growth and facilitating everyone to pursue excellence. Communication is very important today. We are able to penetrate into villages with internet services. Same thing, coming back to the institute, you have excellent facilities, excellent opportunities. You have very active alumni which is ready to support. I'm not repeating the statistics, the facilities, and what you have achieved, what facilities are available in the campus, what centers are available for you to help you to grow. I'm only probably advising you, dear students, take this opportunity. Please don't think that, this is being done as a formality. You should expect the situation. Meet your peers, your seniors and super seniors who will definitely guide you. Engineering mein fundamentals are not going to change. But the way you apply these fundamentals is what is important for you to, on which you have to build your careers. Basically, all of us are in pursuit of better careers for us. What is the fundamental thing in that? You have to understand what is lacking, what is the gap between what people need to what you have today. The moment you identify the gap, you have an opportunity. You should have a passion, pursue that passion, take guidance from your peers, seniors and super seniors to achieve that, to reach that goal. Take steps in the right direction, and I'm sure you will be able to achieve it. At the same time, you should also learn, when you're on the campus, you should learn how to build a team and lead the team. Take the team along with you. Give the credit to your team members. Together you can achieve. You should learn to be jack of all, but at least master of at least one. So, this is what I think you have in your mind. Talk to your peers who are here, take their guidance, and I also request the senior alumni members here, as requested by Dr. Anil Kumar, Dr. Sati Devi, and also Director Prasad Krishna, that they are looking at a support from you to achieve and to make this institute as one of the best institutes at national level. It's not that only you have to support, you also have access to a lot of organizations where you have either worked for or where you have started your own organizations and achieved success, or individually you have acquired a lot of knowledge. Share all that. Get the institute connected to the organizations who can be helpful to the institute. See that the youngsters are guided, provided necessary support to help them to achieve their goals. There's a lot that you can achieve, and I am also glad that NITCA President Sudhakaranji has also assured whatever help the institute needs to see that the institute is positioned at the top positions at the national level. So at the end, I would like to say that, we are here, the institute has the bandwidth, to engage all the members of the alumni, help them, take them along where you can support the institute. I also take this opportunity as chairperson of the BOG. I conclude by wishing NIT Calicut, its faculty members, students, staff, and also the members of the NITCA a glorious future that is going to be fruitful to everyone, and it is unique. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your words. Now we request you to virtually inaugurate the institution management system, which is again another contribution from NITCA.
I remember some time back I was talking to Madam Sati Devi, who was officiating as director, when there was a problem being created by a vendor who was giving us the software for managing the institute. Today I am glad that the IMS Institute Management Software is going to be inaugurated, which was again contributed by the alumni, I think 94, 95, 96 batch together. So I'm glad that you have come forward to support the institute with this system. And I am also glad that we are inaugurating it today, and I declare it as virtually inaugurated. Thank you
very much, sir. Thank you very much. And now let's watch a small video of IMS.
IMS is expected to provide a state-of-the-art ERP for automating all academics, research and administrative workflows of our institute. I am so happy and proud to mention that this prestigious project is completely funded by our 3 batches of alumni, the beta graduates of 1994, 1995 and 1996. And this project is executed by NITCA for the advancement of our alma mater. Entire NITC fraternity is so grateful to all these 3 batches and NITCA. I sincerely appreciate the selfless efforts of our IMS team, who are working behind the scenes day and night to make IMS a reality.
Dr. Subba Rao Pavuliri is a technologist and an entrepreneur with extensive experience in Indian space program for over 4 decades. He was one of the early pioneers of the private industry in high technology areas and the founder of the Anand Technologies Limited in 1993. Dr. Rao is endeavoring in bringing out the full potential of the satellite communication systems, especially for a country of size and diversity like India, for various applications and in tapping the new application areas. It is my great privilege to welcome Dr. Subba Rao Pavuliri, distinguished chief guest of the day, for his address, followed by the inauguration of the IoT lab.
Thank you. Distinguished friends on the dais, and my dear friends who studied along with me, before me, later me, in the college, and of course, my dear students. I see more echo there, that's the reason why, yeah. Namaskar to everybody. I'm glad when I'm meeting some of my old friends. Those who were very lean and very active those days today have become bald, and of course me too. But every one of us, I find, in good health. That only shows the state of mind that have been created during the academics in the REC when we were here,
and subsequently how each one of you cultivated the habit of being healthy later years of your professional life. That's good. I acknowledge that, and it's so nice that, Mr. Shankar Narayana, who is also one of us, he ran in the morning and wanted to demonstrate to all of us that what should be the fitment, the fitness for each one of us. That's good. Normally, those days in our earlier generation, and people used to retire. What that means is retiring from administrative services, something of that kind in the government services at 60. And after that, they think that life is over. They think further to be done on that. But today we have a situation wherein all of us can live, I'm sure, an average lifespan of about 90 years. That being the case, I expect each one of you, my friends, to be active till 90, professionally, socially, otherwise. I'm sure we are going to be that. Ms. Jose, I'm talking about you, that you are so active, and yesterday I saw you dancing. So at each, you're dancing at that part, that's what is in the spirit that, that every one of us has to cultivate on that. So that is something so good. So therefore, my friends, all of us will live till 90 years, continue to be active professionally, personally, and socially. Okay? I'm sure God bless all of us. And since we are the students here, all of us, I would like to remind, something about our past life here, the same institute. And where we have this amphitheater constructed now, earlier next to this, between the library and this building, we used to have a big clock, sun clock. And those days, all of us are not very familiar with we didn't have the mobiles or any one of that. And in fact, from the classes, we used to look into that, peep into that, and see what's the time now. What's going to be the next part of it? In fact, that was a wonderful job that was done by somebody those days. They made it so good. That's what innovation. The innovation started in the campus with that clock itself on those days. But of course, along with that, we had very many the funny incidents of, going to the Katangal, jumping the wall, going to the Katangal, having the masala tea, then, jumping the wall on the other side of this campus, behind the campus, and going to, I'm sure that gentleman must be there, one Chatan, we call that the Chatan tea shop. So we used the tea there, and Palam and tea is the common in the location, and we used to call him Chatan. I'm sure he must be healthy, he must be around. And similarly, every Saturday going to a Malayalam movie in Katangal is another great experience. In fact, that's what taught me the Malayalam. So in this connection, I also should recollect our English professor, Mr. Jose. He used to have the fantastic, accent of English. Because I was a student of, 5 years engineering. One is the preparatory engineering, another 4 years engineering course. We're coming from Andhra Pradesh. So during our preparatory in engineering, he used to teach us English. And there was another professor called Shankar Narayan. He used to take the classes of Malayalam in the evenings. So we used to attend the Malayalam classes, and most of us coming from Andhra, from outside, the class used to be full, in fact. And we learned the reading and the writing of the Malayalam. And for me, in order to cultivate the Malayalam further, I used to read the Malayalam Manorama, Mathrubhumi in the corridors of, A hostel. It started with A, then C, then D, then E. So that's how the progress was so good. And we were coming back and seeing all this, and meeting all our friends is very delightful even for us. And thanks to the organizers for inviting us to this. We're thankful for that. And after Mr. Sudhakaran has talked so much about the cooperation that's happening between the NITCA and the college, I think nothing is left out for me. But however, I would like to make one promise from my side. Since I come from the space background, in the sense that I worked in ISRO as a scientist, and I also happen to be an entrepreneur for doing the activity for the aerospace-related activities, which means dealing with the satellites, launch vehicles, and the missiles, and a lot of other defense-related activities. I'm sure there's an opportunity today, with the policies of the space liberalized, and anyone from private sector also can launch the satellites. can also become the satellite operators, can also do a lot of activities around Earth observation systems and also communications area. Therefore, there is an opportunity that the college can launch a satellite in the name of the college. And whatever is required towards that, we will be doing the complete activity that's required by involving the students into it. At the same time, I also expect the faculty in the college to be innovative in terms of making a payload. The payload can be Earth observation related to the payload, or can be an effective communication side, or it can be, something, since Kerala is a lot of greenery around, even the monitoring of the various things in the coastline, whatever, that type of idea. Some ideas you can choose that. And in this connection, I have my friend here who also retired from ISRO, who retired from ISRO. I didn't retire from ISRO. I left my job and started the company that deals with the space activities. I have my friend here, Mr. Kuti. Mr. Kuti, please stand up. And in fact, though he is about nearing 80 age, but still his job is to propagate the spirit of scientific temper among students. What is lacking today, most of the students, is in terms of lacking the scientific temper. Passing the examination is different. Getting scores is different. But cultivating the scientific spirit, that is most important. And that's how Mr. Kuti and his group are trying to cultivate that in every student around here. I think he's mentoring about 500 students in Calicut alone. And a lot of video conferences conducting. So what I mean to say is that every engineer, though it's engineering, it is necessary that same scientific spirit should be continued. And if we can educate at least 5 or 10 of people around us with the spirit, I'm sure that will become multiplication. Multiplication gets into infinity, that kind of numbers. So I urge my colleagues, I'm sure, who feel that they're retired, they're not retiring. There's a lot of job to be done further. Beyond, you have done enough for our family and children. In fact, Mr. Kamath was so active yesterday also that you have been talking about that. We have done enough for the families, for children. Now let's do something beyond that. That's where Mr. Sudhakar and Mr. Phillips, the spirit of cooperation with the institute and trying to do something in that area. I'm sure that will take. You're talking about 40,000 numbers. In the 40,000 numbers, suppose, let's say, 20,000 are active, let's say. And 20,000, I'm sure, can contribute to the extent of 1 lakh the entire lifetime, which means 20,000 lakhs is a huge money. And the entire institution can be remodeled into something like a Stanford University, or it can be the MIT, or whatever you call that, that type of the famous universities. That's where I'm sure that's what the government of India also liberalized many things in the educational policy. Yesterday we were discussing about that. In the new educational policy, that again, that's what, Dr. Kasturirangan's commission has prepared the new educational policy, which will be adopted with the government of India, in which the lateral studies, the horizontal studies, and, jumping out of the college and coming back onto that, be an innovator, be an entrepreneur outside, your success will continue. You fail, you can come back to the university, you can study that. That kind of a models are coming up onto that. So that's where I think all of us, our elderly students, can contribute immensely to the institute in order to make India Viswaguru. You can imagine this type of thing happening in every college. Cumulatively, that is the strength of India. That is the strength of Bharat today. I'm sure all of you will appreciate, will contribute enough to that. And Mr. Sudhakaran will further take it further in order to just small monies from each one of us. Delta X, cumulatively integrate from 0 to infinity, it becomes infinity. That's how simple mathematics onto that. Friends, when you are doing so, but I have only one disappointment here. We talk about the students, about 6,000 students in the campus, but we don't see even 200 people attending an event which is inauguration of this amphitheater, which is meant for them every day. That's where they come and chit-chat, you can sit here and do that part of it. They say, why, who has done that, how they are organizing it. That's a kind of disappointment for all of us. The people have contributed to make this happen. Hello, students, do you realize? Hello? Students, do you realize that? You should go back and tell your friends. What were the other earlier students, we're all elder students, okay? We're also students once, so for elder students. What we all of us contributed here. And you can see the number of people present here, all elderly ex-students. They're outnumbering the students here. That only shows the kind of ethics, elderly old system that every one of us cultivated. We want each one of you also to cultivate that type of habits on that. When we started our education system, when we started going to the college or school, whatever, those days, our motive was to get employment because it was a struggle for existence for each one of us those days. But today, all students, all of you belong to such a generation where your parents are taking care of you. Enough of that. Today, enough of opportunities. Therefore, those days, our opportunities are only getting into a governmental job. And in between, some of us left the jobs and started something on our own. That's a different kind of thing altogether. That's what today you are most lucky people. So therefore, I think, as Mr. Sudhakaran mentioned, we can also keep some fund as an angel investors into startup companies which the faculty and the students want to bring it together. Mr. Sudhakaran, something like, we'll become the angel funders for that activity. Which means you will have an idea and faculty can reshape that idea to be useful for the society. And the elderly students like us, we can become an angel investor into that. And subsequently, based upon the kind of contribution we're making to your own ideas, that idea can become disruptive. So please think about it. And I'm sure, since your director, the present director, Prasad Krishnan Garu, is very, very innovative in his thinking, and we find that, is very aggressive in terms of pursuing the new ideas for the college, new courses. I'm sure he also will make this happen soon on that. That's why my advice to students, very simple. Swami Vivekananda always used to say, be strong, be strong. You have a divinity in each one of you. That divinity will drive you to success in your lives. Faith, faith, faith in yourself. That's enough. The world is open for students today, unlike us. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Because already it's nearing 1 o'clock, I think lunch and one more program also there. We don't want to take much of time on that. Thank you all on that.
Thank you very much, sir. A kind reminder to you to declare inaugurating the IoT lab, please. Sir, kindly inaugurate.
We already inaugurated IoT lab here. And I declare the IoT lab open.
The very idea of IoT project in the campus was evolved in one of the meetings of alumni Bangalore chapter. And later on, the 28th batch alumni members took it up and made a detailed plan to establish a world-class standard, world-class facility of infrastructure for IoT in the campus. The main objectives of the IoT lab includes enabling students and faculty to undertake real-life projects from the industry and from the society in general. It also envisages collaboration with international institutes and universities to make the lab a center of excellence. The IoT lab is also expected to generate revenue from research and consultancy and make the IoT lab a self-sustaining. The first phase of the IoT project has been completed and new projects are in the pipeline.
That was another remarkable contribution from NITCA to the alma mater. Now, as a token of gratitude from the NITC family, I would like to invite our director, Dr. Prasad Krishna, to extend felicitation to the Chairman Board of Governors and the NITCA President, Sri K. Sudhakaran. First, let us now I invite our distinguished chairperson of Board of Governors of NIT Calicut, Sri Jagala Yogananji, to receive the memento from our respected director, Professor Prasad Krishna. Thank you, sir. Thank you, both of you. Now I request the NITCA President, Dr. K.S. Sudhakaran, to receive the memento from the Director. Thank you very much, sir. Now, it's our honor to felicitate the chief guest of the day, Dr. Subbarao Pavluri, and the Secretary of NITCA, Mr. Joseph Philip. I request the Dean, Alumni and Corporate Relations, Professor Anil Kumar, to hand over the memento to our chief guest, Dr. Subbarao Pavluri first. Now the Secretary of NITCA, Mr. Joseph Philip, may kindly come forward and receive the memento from Professor Anil Kumar. Thank you very much, sir. Now, there is a small announcement from the coordinator's side. Since we are slightly running short of time, the lunch is ready in the guest house, and it is requested that the first 5 rows of alumni and distinguished guests to proceed for lunch. The bus is waiting outside. The NITCA AGM is supposed to start at the city venue at 3:30, and the buses from the campus will be starting at 2 p.m. sharp. So, the first 5 rows of the alumni in the audience may kindly proceed for lunch. Now, request Dr. Salil Ismail, who is the Associate Dean of Alumni Affairs and Alumni and Corporate Affairs, to propose the vote of thanks. Vote of thanks, sir.
Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, dear alumni, faculty colleagues, supporting staff and students. As the curtains come down on the year-long Diamond Jubilee celebrations of NIT Calicut, I am honored and privileged to express gratitude to a number of distinguished personalities on behalf of the Institute and the Office of the Dean of Alumni and Corporate Relations. At the outset, I wish to thank Mr. Jagala Yoganand, Chairman, Board of Governors, NIT Calicut, for presiding over this function and for inaugurating the Institute Management System. I would like to thank our Director, Professor Prasad Krishna, for his insightful address and for releasing the NITCA Coffee Table Book. I am also grateful to our Deputy Director, Professor Sadi Devi Madam, for enlightening us with a comprehensive narrative of the Diamond Jubilee occasion and activities. We are extremely grateful to Dr. Subbarao Pavluri, Chairman and Managing Director of Anand Technologies, for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest of this function, for his motivating speech, and for inaugurating the Internet of Things Lab. I wish to place on record our special thanks to Mr. K.S. Sudhakaran, President of NITCA, and Mr. Joseph Philip, Secretary of NITCA, for their efforts in organizing the World NITCA Meet 22 and for being with us here. Mr. Sudhakaran has also inaugurated the Green Amphitheatre, a testimony to the commitment of the alumni towards NITC. Thank you, sir. I thank Professor Anil Kumar PP and Dr. Deepak Lawrence, Dean and Associate Dean of Alumni and Corporate Relations, NIT Calicut, for their unstinted efforts to strengthen the Institute alumni bond and for organizing this event. I take this opportunity to thank our Registrar, Commander Dr. M.S. Shamasundara, who has promptly rendered all necessary administrative support for this event. Thanks in advance to the panelists of the open house session, which will be commencing in a few minutes. I'm sure the students are eagerly looking forward to interacting with you. It is only apt that at this milestone moment for NIT Calicut, we have with us our esteemed alumni from various batches who have gathered here from all corners of the globe along with their families for this mega get-together of the CRAC NITC family. Words cannot express how happy and proud we are to have you here with us. Thank you, and we look forward to many such reunions in the future as well. This Diamond Jubilee Culmination function has become a reality thanks to the dedication and hard work of the teaching and non-teaching staff members and student volunteers of the Institute Alumni Affairs Council belonging to various committees constituted for this event. It was great to work with you as a team. Sincere thanks to you all. Special thanks to our engineering unit, electrical maintenance unit, security office, and housekeeping staff, and the technicians for ensuring that this venue was prepared on time and for facilitating the smooth conduct of this program. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the deans, associate deans, heads of various departments, centers and sections, and my other faculty colleagues, staff members and students for gracing this occasion. Kindly excuse me in case I left out any names inadvertently. Once again, I thank one and all and wish you all a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Salil. And to mark the end of this program, we have now the national anthem. Please rise up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you all.
Along with this, he was associated with 3 other companies and was director of EGAR Tech Industrial Electronics Private Limited, SC Copomatics Filtration Systems India Private Limited, and Fuel Cells India Private Limited. He pursued his master's degree in mechanical engineering at Drexel University from 1884 to 1985. He completed his Master of Business Administration in Account and Finance at the Moravian University in 2005. He pursued his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from NIT Calicut from 1974 to 1978.
I would now like to introduce our second panelist, Dr. Kallol Roy. He is a scientist in the Department of Atomic Energy as well as the chairman and managing director of Bharatiya Nabhikya Vidyut Nigam Limited, Bhavani at Kalpakkam. Bhavani, one of the prestigious companies of the Department of Atomic Energy, has undertaken construction, commissioning, operation and maintenance of 500 megawatt prototype fast breeder reactor at Kalpakkam. Prior to taking up this role, Dr. Roy had served Bhabha Atomic Research Center, BARC, as Head Research Reactor Maintenance Division, Reactor Group. Dr. Roy, an alumni from Regional Engineering College, Calicut, has a doctorate in fault diagnostics from IIT Bombay. He has specialized in the field of total maintenance management of reactors, upgrade and retrofit of systems and computer-based systems.
Our next panel member is Dr. Vinay Joshi. Prior to his teaching assignments as Assistant Professor in Electronic and Communication Department of NIT Calicut, Dr. Vinay Joshi was the Qualcomm Wireless R&D between 2013 to 2020, working on small cells, self-configuration, resource mobility management, and 5G, focusing on upper layers, industrial, Internet of Things, and URLLC. He received his PhD in 2013 from the University of Texas at Austin, Mechanical Engineering in 2009 from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and BTech in 2007 from National Institute of Technology, Calicut.
Now, I would like our expert set of panelists to answer the queries raised by our students. Apart from placements, higher studies is an option that an equal proportion of students opt. So, my batchmate Afra would like to ask her question regarding this. Please.
Good afternoon, sirs.
We have been posed some questions that was given to me yesterday. Now, I understand that these questions are collectively posed by all. So, I would suggest that each of us can put in a preamble, 2-3 sentences, and then we can open it. What would you? Fair enough, yeah. Yeah. Fine. Okay. Yeah. Only one thing to the biodata I would like to add. I retired a year and a half back, and now I'm a guest faculty at IIT Madras. So I've gone back from CMD and now.
Yes, sir, we'll correct that. Just to give the prior information, sirs, the questions are collected collectively, all have been released by the Google form, and now we will be having that session.
So, good afternoon, sirs. My question is, did the clubs of NITC have an impact on your placements? And is it possible to balance academics and clubs? And could you share which club you were a part of? If the clubs have helped you with your placements.
I'm more comfortable in standing and talking, okay? So, yeah, so I like interaction with all of you to begin with. I don't know if the biodata was given, but I don't know who gave the biodata. But what I would like to share is that the NICA USA started a mentoring program 8 years ago. So we are continuing that. We will be launching this year's mentoring program this week. Actually, we are organizing a meeting tomorrow to finalize the program and launch it. So when that comes out, how many of you signed up in the previous mentoring programs in the previous years? See, there are mentees sitting here. So please talk to them. Okay, most of your questions you posted already. Answers are already given in the previous years to these alumni, students sitting here. So just a marketing on the mentoring program for the USA. There are 98 plus mentors signed up this year, waiting for you to join the mentoring program and raise these questions. And they will be sharing a lot of their experience. Please utilize that opportunity. So that is on that. The second one, we have alumni has a knowledge database. If you go into our alumni website, you click on the knowledge database. Everybody with all the backgrounds, whoever signed up, entire alumni population did not enter the data into the database yet. Whoever populated that database, you can find the area of expertise of different alumni in that database. So if you have any interest in pursuing any of the studies or job in any of those categories, you are more than welcome to reach out to them and they will be helping you. And if any of them didn't reach out back to you, feel free to bother me, okay? I will be personally pushing them to respond back to you, okay? So now coming back to your question about the club. Doesn't matter which club you participate in, whether it is a simple club or a board game. When I was here as a student, okay, years ago, 44 years ago, right? Or 48 years ago started. My biggest passion was card games. So I excelled in card games. I was a champion for card game for cards for 4 years. So whatever you are in, put your 100%, more than 100% effort in. That is what it doesn't matter which club you belong to. The second connected piece I would like to mention is don't pay attention only to your studies. You need to have practical knowledge when you are graduating from and stepping out and getting the job. One of the biggest challenges we are observing, I have 7 NIT graduates starting with my own companies in the last 4 years. What I have observed, okay, is the lack of practical knowledge. Because that is something which is missing in Indian education system. It is not your mistake or your fault. That is what is missing in the Indian education system. But utilize this mentoring program and the other opportunities. Whoever joined the mentoring program and associated with some of us, we were forcing them to do some of the summer internship in companies in Kochi, in Bangalore, in Hyderabad. Please utilize those opportunities and gain some practical experience. So club doesn't matter. Thank you.
Okay, even I feel comfortable standing. Perhaps I'll just give you a sum and substance of all the questions which you have posed before I answer your question. Questions are, in general, whether we should do PhD directly or we can do it later, whether we should do MBA as a good option or not, whether we should have what sort of skill sets we would require. Sum and substance, if you ask me to tell you, I would feel you have got variety of aspirations when you're an undergrad. If you're very keen on going purely for academics as a career, good to do a master's and PhD right away and get into the academic stream. However, if you want to discover yourself and be a collaborator between industry and academics, it's good to work, pick on the interest zones and get yourself in the university and reskill yourself. In this connection, I'll just tell you, a big forum is moving the problem of future university. It's a top dialogue between IIT Madras, University of College of London, Purdue, it's the ETH Zurich, that the university system in the next 2 decades is going to be perpetual. Nobody loses registration. You do 4 years, go to industry. Return back after 5 years, register for 2 courses, add on your skill sets, go back. Again work for 10 years, come back. So you remain a perpetual student who keeps adding on skill sets on a need basis, and thereby you further your careers. So the concept is skill set development. Now the latest psychoanalytics, which talks of what skills one really requires, I would say the top-notch people say the cognitive skills and system knowledge skills. Cognitive skills are all to do with understanding and analyzing a problem. System knowledge skills is trying to break down a system into multiple small systems, understanding it, and trying to see how the properties of the small systems, when connected together, can actually function. So these are very general topics, but the understanding is, given any situation, you should be able to do it. Like I see a number of IIT BTech people, very great in control theory solving with uncertainties and process modeling. They do excellently in financial engineering. I mean, a number of them get selected in Bloomberg, JP Morgan, what have you. All fine, because all financial engineering problems are also modeling and also solving statistical uncertainties and math stat problems. So sometimes they require a bit of domain knowledge. They go back, pick up the finance domain knowledge, again get back. So you see, the whole idea is migrating yourself from one skill set, or rather one domain to another, keeping your skill sets preserved. So once you are quite good at all this, so I would always say, always remember, one skill set which always you should have and nurture is math, math, and math. I've dropped the S out of it because the Americans have moved forward by dropping S and not calling it maths but calling it math. But that's the skill set which you should always have. So when you learn math, the problem is math is usually made very, very boring and taught as if it's math. I would like to tell you, math has to be understood as a language or a philosophy explained quantitatively. So if you understand the concept, you can definitely understand whether it's an algebraic equation or an ODE or a PDE and how to solve it. So, and whether you need statistics or whether you can solve it deterministically. So this is a concept. So please understand that if tomorrow you enter a policy matter, you are, let's say, a civil servant. Let's say you have done your business and gone into policy. Please understand, you'll need game theory. Whether it's a Ukraine war today or Julius Caesar's invasion of Cleopatra, it's all game theory. You have multiple agents, you're competing for a min-max solution, and you're trying to reach a zero-sum game or an infinite game. You look into priorities, so it's all game theory. So as a start, look into the TEDx talk by Simon Sinek on game theory. It's a beautiful talk which will motivate you. And see the movie, which is on John Nash, A Beautiful Mind. You'll understand what is the cooperative equilibrium. How does Nash equilibrium come in? So in any walk of life, a bit of game theory knowledge is something which will help you over and above other technical knowledges, whether you're in business, whether elsewhere. So the question as to whether you should do an MBA or not, the question is today the MBA is also more about business analytics. You may be aware, IIM has just launched this year, IIM Calcutta, on an MBA in business analytics, where a person spends 1 year in Indian Statistical Institute, Calcutta, and 1 year in Diamond Harbour IIM. The whole idea is learning a lot of math stats solutions to solve finance problems, solve HR problems, and solve what have you. So I think the whole idea is you have to balance yourself, and one advice would be that if you want to do innovative work, but not very deep analytically, perhaps it's good to do a master's, get into an innovative work, go back and repeat a master's after 5 years, or go back and repeat a certificate course later. So that would be the way in which I would think you can think of shaping for better employability. Now coming to your first question. In my time, the two clubs in which I was actively involved, one was a literary debating club and one was an industrial planning forum. There was only one technical club additionally, that was an aero modeling club, but I was not part of it. I will say the literary debating club gave me a lot of analytical skills because we had a whole lot of extempore speaking on variety of subjects which you pick up and start speaking. It could be general, social, whatever. The industrial planning forum gave me a lot of analytical skills on understanding how to face an interview, how to have group discussions, how to take up a topic, analyze a topic, and push forward. So I think today's concept of cognitive skills, analytical skills, and system skills all had actually been unknowingly imbibed by my presence in those clubs, which helped me later to bring about more articulate explanation of a technical problem to the management to get funds, to discuss and present your problem to maybe have a career growth. So I would think all your club, and I would fully agree that you should not invest, I'm not saying you should not, invest your time in academics, but also invest in what he would correctly said. I'll add the American perspective. It's called the multi-dimensional perspective. They call multi, not multi. So the multi-dimensional perspective is very important for an overall growth. Because remember, even if you're a strong academician, who will fund you unless you know to write a proposal? Who will fund you unless you can articulate your thought process to what the society is thinking? And you may be aware the US state universities always insist that once you're finishing your PhD, before your final defense, you have to speak to the members of the society for 1.5 minutes explaining what your project is. So all the panchayat or equivalent, mayor and the town folk will try to see whether our money is being put to the right use or not. So this is a very important thing. So I remember a friend's daughter from Rice talking about how she was working on clogging of petroleum lines into equivalent of cholesterol deposition on a human arterial system. And all mayor and everyone said, oh, that's a great project, it deserves funding. So it's very important that you understand the modalities of articulate expression and putting forward things, and these soft skills become extremely important for a total multi-dimensional perspective what you have. I don't know whether I've answered your question, but that's broadly what I had to say in totality. I'll just add one more point. You might have heard of Industry 4.0 and 5.0. 4.0 I'll not talk, but 5.0 is essentially talking of personalizing everything. So today when you start working, you can find a niche area in startups which aims at personalizing. Let's say today they're talking of drug dispensers, which could be personalized for each individual. So there's a whole lot of startups which are being proposed, which aims at breaking down a large equipment into smaller personalized devices. And that will be a very good area over the next 1 or 2 decades where you can work on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that elaborate answer. Now there is a question on quantum computing. Uday, can we have your question?
Hello. Just one point
Sure,
on
sir.
the elaborations of what both my other friends
sir.
have said. Okay. Now, I just would like to know, what are your goals in life? Is your goal is to be employed? Okay. If your goal is to be employed, then you should look at the academics. That is, you do the masters, you do the engineering, you do the masters, the PhD, whatever that's called, only to gain some little knowledge and get qualified. Is that all our goal? That's what our goals are earlier when we were the youngsters. I think your goal should be something entirely different. You must use education only as a tool to learn, to shape your career, future, towards your goal. Then you are a different personality altogether. Otherwise, you'll be getting into the same cycle of, getting a master's and a PhD. End of the day, I don't know, you'll be just employed. That's it. That's not the end of your life. I'm sure your life is more precious than that. And you mentioned about the practical experience of that. I just give it a small common sense example. How to ride a cycle. There is a subject in the college. Then the teacher teaches you what the cycle is. It has 2 wheels, it has a bell, it has a brake, etc., etc. All that will teach you. After that, examination is conducted. The questions are on how many wheels a cycle has. Then tick, okay? 2 wheels, right. Then how do you do the pedaling? Then bell. When do you use the brake? All perfectly answered. Your score is 100 out of 100. You got the distinction in the subject. Then suppose you are given a cycle to ride. Can you? So very simple. Life is of that kind. So therefore, don't worry about the academics, don't worry about all that part of it. They are incidental to shape, to learn. But you must have a clear goals in your life. The one who does not have the goals, they are as good as another living being. I'm sure each one of you should be different than that. Look at that. Right? Thank you.
Now I would like Shivangi from second year Production Engineering to ask you a question on quantum computing. Now I would like Shivangi from second year Production Engineering to ask you a question on quantum computing.
The field of quantum computing has been really growing lately. So, what are your thoughts about it? Do you think that we should also be a part of it?
I also don't know much about it, but I can tell you that Samsung would like to spend something like 500 crores setting up a center on quantum computing in IIT Madras. So the office of, ACR and office of various other offices are working towards it. So the whole idea is it may be a regional quantum computing center in the country and all Southeast Asia. So I can only say that it definitely will have a very big field, because if major multinationals would like to invest that much money, there would be a large growth in that. And from a little bit what I know, I can tell you that the academic growth towards quantum computing, towards reducing computational time, and towards making computer softwares and computer hardwares easier to formulate is phenomenal. But I'm not a domain expert. Maybe if you choose, I can get some domain experts to talk to you on a web. That I can help you do. But beyond that, even perhaps I can help in getting some domain experts to talk. But from what I see happening, I think it's got a huge growth. That's all I can answer.
Yeah, I too am not a domain expert, but what I understand is that it enables you to solve some problems which were traditionally difficult because of its combinatorial nature. So those kind of problems can now be solved in an easier or quicker manner. But I believe some of the big challenges with quantum computing is that whether you can come up with a commercial small quantum computer, those are big open questions. So whether the market will actually flourish or not, all those questions are I guess it's worth exploring that path. Maybe the key question for you to think about is whether there are going to be transferable skills. Even if that area dies down after maybe a couple of decades, other transferable skills, usually there are. So it looks like a hot area right now, looking from outside, and it should leave you with some good skills, even if the area dies away. Yeah.
Thank you. And there is a question from Aileen, B21 Electronics, about entrepreneurship.
So good afternoon, sir. So as an entrepreneur, what kind of advice do you have for students at NITC about using their time, relationships, and opportunities at NIT Calicut so that they can prepare for this kind of career?
Okay, maybe I will start on that. As an entrepreneur, always people think about you need to have new ideas and some novel ideas to become an entrepreneur. That is not right. You are looking at a mechanical engineer who went back to very basic things, and then started a company in a very small way. And I always had big dreams, and that fulfilled. So what I'm trying to say is stay very simple. Okay, never give up. As Dr. Rao said earlier, always have the passion and the commitment. And you heard Sudhakaran mentioning about failures. You will have failures and mistakes, but never get disappointed. Always have a goal in your life and work towards that. Then you will automatically, reach there. There was another question, I think, related, importance of money. Right, and the set of questions that was given, mentioned by Dr. Roy earlier, don't pay much importance for money. It will come automatically. If you do everything with, just like I said before, everything with 100% commitment and passion, money will come automatically. It will come in its own way. The other comment I would like to make is do something good for your community, your nature, your the future generation. Always you learned engineering from NIT in 4 years. There's a lot of people who worked behind that, right? A lot of people spend a lot of time to teach you in what you are. So you give it back to the society. So do something that is benefiting you as well as benefiting society. I'm not talking about charity. I'm talking about do the business that is going to benefit the society in the future. And if you ask me, if you paid attention to the biodata they were sharing, that is how I started with the hydrogen refueling. The hydrogen refueling market, when I started back in 2009, it was just in the dream of a lot of people. So I've decided to enter into that market mainly because it is needed for our environment, for our future generation. And even my family was not at all supportive initially, but they knew I will get there. So that is the support that was given by the family. Okay? So do something that is you love, you have the passion for it, and go for it. So that is what it is.
Maybe I'll answer your question also. Last 1.5 years in IIT, I've been dealing with 3-4 people who are into startups. One person has been working on air pollution monitoring much differently than what CPCB works. He's mounting small pollution sensors, low-cost sensors on auto rickshaws and motorbikes which traverse the city, IoT devices to communicate to a server, powerful algorithms to make poor quality sensor better quality sensor, which is very much possible. And the concept is he'll develop an app which will tell you the most polluted route when you leave every morning. So you can take a decision temporally and spatially whenever you want to study. So he's got a lot of funding from National Stock Exchange, CSR, and is working on that. Similarly, somebody else is working on fuel cells, and somebody else wants to work on hunger detection of comatose patients from EEG signals. So these are both societal as well as other. But the problems also, I'll tell you, it is always good. Maybe you can advise better, sir. It is always good to go for a startup with a person of different core strengths. Somebody should full-time look into productivity and the market assessment. Somebody should look into investments, and somebody should look into the tech. If you can get a core group with these core strengths, then things will be that much easier. Because after that, you have to hire a few people to help you. But then a person looking into tech may not be able to look into investments because that's a different ball game altogether. And when they're looking into investments, they have to convince the investors what are its long-term goals. At the same time, the tech person should know that there are some immediate short-term technology challenges followed by long-term research challenges. So you have to have both on your plate and you try solving it. With regard to electronics particularly, I can only think that there is a host of biomedical, biotechnological instrumentation along with the data sciences which are very popular today. So it could be in terms of online monitoring of the patient parameters, which will help, which things have already come out on a watch. You have got systems on cell phone, you have got systems. You can advance those areas. So there's a good area for those in electronics. In addition, I can just add one point. Since I come from the nuclear industry, we always faced a major problem in the supply chain in the country. We are embargoed from outside. And the areas of problem was that specialized products, there were people who are capable, but they did not want to make for nuclear industry because we would ask such products once in 5 years. Then what happens to their investment? So I've been talking to our Indian Nuclear Society also that it should be our job and your job both to convince them, tell us a niche area which can be both commercial and high-tech. The high-tech would mean the design remains same, only you put in all advanced engineering practices in that, like high-end quality, high-end testability, high-end reliability and dependability, and all good engineering practices, and the nuclear industry or aerospace industry pays you for that. But the technology per se can be commercialized, from which you get your bread and butter, and the high-tech one gives you the satisfaction. So this together would be an area of a supply chain for critical high infrastructure industry in India, where there's a large potential for electronics, instrumentation, electromechanical, where you talk of precision positioning in microns, let's say with stepper motors and others. So there's a large growth in that. And today, because of very easy access to 3D printing, many things may be possible faster. So maybe the bottom line would be survey the market and find out which are the high-tech precision areas which you require. Get hold of 3 or 4 persons with different core strengths and interests. And thirdly, work in a direction to find out and convince the investor that whatever you're planning has got both short-term and long-term returns. Perhaps this is what I would like to sum up based on my maybe 1.5 years experience, where I saw few startups close down also, whereas few startups have been flourishing also very well. IIT, of course, has a very strong incubator cell and a research park to promote this. But then, well, everything comes with a price. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So that was a very interesting interaction between the students and alumni. We have a quick question from our faculty side. Since we are running slightly late and very much behind the schedule, it's a request.
Good afternoon,
to
sir.
cut short your
Myself Suni Vasudevan. I represent the faculty at NIT Calicut. First of all, I thank you all for taking time to spend with us in your busy schedule. Okay. So my query is, you are few among the very highly successful alumni of NIT Calicut. So as a highly successful alumni of NIT Calicut, any suggestions from your side to implement it into the teaching methodology or the faculty approach to produce more successful alumni? Any suggestions for improving the teaching methodology?
Very simple and quick suggestion to all of you.
Yes.
All the faculty must move to the industry. Work for industry for a while. Otherwise, as I told you earlier, I don't know whether you heard already about the cycle story. You will be only giving the cycle story only for everybody. It's of no use. I can tell you, I don't know, what's your specialization?
Chemistry.
Huh?
Chemistry.
Chemistry. Okay.
Chemistry.
Chemistry. Okay.
Thank you for that
There are,
interesting
you must be knowing IICT.
Yeah.
Okay, IICT, the Chemical Engineering Technology Center, and CSR laboratories. There are certain products which they develop for the industries.
Yeah.
Then that has to be absorbed by the industry, those technologies and multiplication of this commercial monetization, whatever that kind of things you do. As a faculty, you continue to teaching it, but are you thinking to do anything else beyond that?
Yes.
So, for example, as I mentioned about, the universities in America or Europe, etc., they don't concentrate themselves only doing a teaching part of it. Teaching is only one way. Okay, tangible, intangible, okay? This is only one way of doing it. But also must participate in the development of the technologies can be used by industry or elsewhere. So therefore, your goal has to be to the IP, patenting that.
Yes.
Then get benefit of that.
Yes.
But that part of it is absent in all the Indian universities, I must say, all the Indian universities.
Yes.
Therefore, the small advice to not only to chemistry people, but also electronics and mechanically, they must grow something much beyond teaching part of it.
Yes.
Teaching is only one skill set, but converting the teaching into action is the biggest, most laudable skill set.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
I will just add on to that a couple of things. Number one, I mean, you may not like this. Number one, none of the students who are coming out are trained in professional writing and speaking skills. I think that is needed, that is missing in our engineering schools throughout I'm not talking about NIT alone. I have NIT students who came out and started as fresh in my company. I have other institutions supplied engineers to my company. Always the challenge I'm facing is their communication skills. I think even if it is not in the curriculum, one of the questions was about the club. Even if it is a club that is formed to improve the communication skills, it should be a mandatory thing by the professors and lecturers. That is a request from me. And the other small piece is Microsoft tools or any of the business communication tools, Excel, Word document. I don't know whether the humanities course is still there or not.
Yes, sir.
When we were students, humanities, we used to be, okay, so if it is there, I'm not commenting about that. But that is something which is needed. And from a businessman who utilizes these kids in the future, I'm telling you that. Because today, I have a English speaking and writing skills course started in my company in Kochi. So today is the first day. And there's 16 courses started today because they are lacking it. So that is something.
Thank you, sir.
So I'll just add one point to this. I've been talking to the Chennai chapter earlier. Whether you can think of passing it through a Senate to have at least 1 3 or 6 credit course, which is typically 40 lecture, taken by the alumni. The course should be mandatory. Either it should be certificate course if you don't possibly have as a part of curriculum in the, that course can cover portions of safety engineering design. It can cover business analytics techniques. It can cover marketability. It can cover investment. I can't think of the plethora of things, but this is a point where alumni can actually help. And today with so much of online teaching, both online and offline are possible. So unless you make a mandatory course available, which could be a 36 or 40 lecture as a semester course in your 8th, this gives some sort of an industrial fillip or a kick for a person to get. Apart from that, maybe you should reach out to alumni to see that prior to issuing a degree certificate, whether everyone can spend 1 month in specific industry and pick up some more skill sets, as was suggested. So after you do that mandatory internship after 8th semester, then the person actually gets a degree. So we can think of all that, which could be most beneficial to all by mutual discussion.
Thank you very much, sir. Last question, last comment
Sir,
from
I'll
Professor
take only
Jose
2
Matthew.
minutes. I am the chairman, Industry Institute Relations. Whatever I was about to tell, I think sir was mentioning. I hope you know that now NIT Calicut, we have that new system that is actually industry collaboration, we call it. There are 4 categories. One is visiting faculty. That is, experts from industry has to come here and then stay here. We give you a remuneration also. It is at par with the new education policy. Then next one is professor of practice. I think that was mentioning about that. Then third category is adjunct faculty. Then the last one is co-teaching. And for your information, sir, we are in the final stages and we are going to start within next 2 weeks some of these things immediately. And we are getting very good response from alumni as well as industry people, even doctors. I'll give you one example. These artificial neural things, the doctors, the neurosurgeons and all, they are coming here. This can be done it online or offline. And some of the doctors who are that much academic oriented from Calicut Medical College and Amrita Institute, they have offered that they'll come physically here and take classes. So in this aspect, I request all our alumni help, because that was saying that we have to tap maximum the alumni resources so that we can do it in online. And if you are most welcome to come to offline also. That we are doing it. It is going to start.
You have to
within 2
formalize it, because if
it's
casually done, then I may come, not come.
No, it is, sir. It needs a form. That's the final form. Everything is done. Then even we are giving some remuneration also for outside people. But that was saying that if alumni is coming, I am sure that they'll do it free of cost. So it's advantage for the institute also. It's not the money alone. And we have excellent, alumni outside academicians as well as industry, and they all agreed. So we are going to start. It's already started. I can say that informally, but formally we are going to start soon. All these category: visiting faculty, professor of practice, adjunct faculty, and co-teaching. So I request co-teaching is the best one where alumni can immediately come. It is like this: if you have 40 credit course, they'll be taking maybe 4 hours or 5 hours, and they'll motivate the students. So students will get motivated. And one more thing, sir, what we need is, you are saying mandatory, because unless you make it compulsory, Dr. Sir was mentioning that the attendance, it is true with the faculty also. I am representing the faculty community. Faculties are all not motivated to come and attend. Naturally, students also will be like that. That is a major thing we have to take care of that. Whether we bring any eminent people here, if nobody is there to come and attend it, attendance we are making it mandatory. Again, forcefully doing it. So we have to come to the other stage. That is, they have to come voluntarily and learn it. All these Peter students, they wrote the JE, highly competitive one. They are all highly motivated. But what we have seen is, after coming over here, somehow some people getting lost the motivation, and then they may attend, they may not attend. So we should think loudly how to make them attract, not compulsory, voluntary, that's their own interest, and come and attend it. And that I am sure that this type of motivational alumni, when they come to teach, definitely it will have a good impact.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for that comment.
Can I just add one sentence? See, all of you should read Nassim Taleb's The Bed of Procrustes. The traditional schooling system was the tale of the Greek highway robber who would catch the victim and put him on the bed. If his height was shorter than the bed, he'll stretch him to make it fit. If his height was taller, they'll chop his legs off to make him fit. Either way, the victim died. So the point is, maybe you should select courses and alumni interaction should be such that people should not be able to stretch. If they should be able, if they are more creative, give them more options. If they are less creative, give them options where they are more creative. So perhaps we should think of a plethora of courses depending on, with electives, such that people can select based on their need rather than force-fitting everyone to the same model. So perhaps just I wanted to add this.
Sir, it is for both electives as well as for core. Those are flexible, sir. And again, sir, English, we are taking all efforts to have that course is there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was a great interaction between the student community and distinguished alumni. So let us conclude this session by felicitating the panelists. Let me invite Professor Samir SM, the Dean Academic of the Institute, to present a memento to our chief guest of the day, as well as a panelist here, Dr. Subbarao Pavaluri. Thank you very much, sir. Now let me invite the Dean Research and Consultancy, Professor Madhusudanan Pillai, to present the memento to Sri Thomas Joseph. Now, Dr. Kalol Loy is being presented the memento by Professor Jos Matthew, the chairperson of Center for Industry Institute Interaction. Thank you, sir. Now, may I invite Commander Dr. Shyam Sundara, our respected registrar of the Institute, present the memento to Dr. Vinay Joseph. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all the panelists. Thank you, dear students, for your interaction. And we hope this interaction will continue online and on the virtual mode also, to have a very fruitful life for you and the career for you in NIT and after NIT. Thank you once again. Thank you for the day.
Thank you for arranging. Thank you.